Perfect. Okay. I am ready to call this meeting to order at 9:30 a.m. on Monday, January 26th. Is there any additions to the agenda? No, I don't see any. I'm going to look for a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll give you the motion.
Perfect. Any discussion? I see none. Thank you, Counselor. Best days? Huh?
Estes.
Bestest. Okay, sorry.
Estes.
At the end of, like, my 2-year term, I'll get this correctly, or after this, I'll get it, I'll get everybody's. I still haven't got to Joe yet today, so I'll struggle through his last name in a bit. Alright, and so any discussion? Anybody opposed? I see none. That's carried. Um, Now we'll move on to the, acceptance of the FRESC minutes from the previous meeting. Did everybody have a chance to look at the minutes? They all look good? Can I get a motion that the minutes of the meeting held on Monday, December 15th, 2025 be accepted as presented? I see, oh shoot, Hazel, I don't
Martin.
know. Oh, sorry, is there a question?
Nope, no,
Okay. Hazel, I don't have your last name here.
Martin.
Martin, okay. Counselor Martin. Okay, so Counselor Martin is making that motion. Any discussion? I see none. Um, Anybody opposed? That carries. Perfect. So we'll go on to item number 5, accounts payable. Any discussion on that? And Counselor Martin.
Just one quick question. Are the landfill fees covering the costs of hauling out like the materials, like the mattresses and the drywall?
So the drywall, yes. So we always have kind of a margin in the rates that we charge to make sure that we have enough money to cover the cost of hauling that material or grinding that material, those types of things. In the case of the drywall, it actually worked out very well because well, I can pull it up here. Typically we charge, $74 a ton, that's what we charge for drywall. And then we have to grind it, which costs about $40 for the wood waste, about $40 per ton. So that extra $30 per ton is there to cover the cost of trucking and those types of things, and just our equipment that has to stack the piles up as they build and those types of things. So typically we do still make money on the products, even once we get rid of them for a second life. In the case of the drywall, we just had to truck it off site as is. They didn't make us grind it or nothing. And there was no disposal cost for the drywall. So that actually worked out really well. So we made quite a bit of money off the drywall. We just had to pay the trucking, which ends up being like $5 to $10 a ton.
Okay, well, that's great. And the mattresses, you had one time talked about the mattress program. Is that something that's still worthwhile?
So I'll get to that in my operations update that we,
Okay,
I will touch on that in the operations update. So,
okay, sounds good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Counselor Martin. Is there anybody else with questions regarding the accounts payable? I see none. Would anybody like to make the motion that the accounts payable dated January 26, 2026 is in the amount of $413,881.87 be accepted for payment? Perfect. And I see, is it Counselor Mitchell? Yeah, that's made by Counselor Mitchell. Any discussion? I see none. Anybody opposed? I see none. That carries. On to tonnage reports, number 6. Do we have any questions on tonnage reports? I am seeing none. Would anybody like to make the motion that tonnage reports for the month of December 2025 be accepted as presented?
Oh, wait.
I saw Counselor Estes first. Perfect. Anybody? Oh, do you want to speak to that motion? No? Okay. Any discussion? I see none. I'll call the vote. Anybody opposed? I see none. Oh, that's carried. On to business. 7A, operational update by Joe and Javane.
Close enough. You kind of thread the needle there on that one between the vine or the vine. And Javine is typically, yeah, what we go with. But all good. I've heard far worse. Okay, getting to my updates here. This time of year it gets pretty quiet on the site. Traffic, really drops down, especially when we have the really cold days. We had that nice spell of weather there, so that's when we hauled off the drywall from the site. That was about 10 years worth of drywall that we had stockpiled. That really there was almost no demand for. The only time I've ever had demand for drywall in the past was a company that wanted to use it as a pH amendment for their soils. It's like a neutralizing thing that they can blend in with their topsoil to neutralize the pH. But for that, again, you have to grind it up into a powder first before that can be done. So that was like 10, 12 years ago. We had that one time from a customer that wanted that. I've never had any interest since then to get rid of the material. And then I got in touch with this feedlot that they basically use it as a bedding material for their cattle on a feedlot. So they mix it in with wood chip and stuff like that, and that helps to absorb the moisture and stuff in the pens from the animals. So yeah, that was nice. Get rid of all that, like I said, no charge was a nice perk for us as well. So our pile for that material is basically gone. We have a small little pile left, just because the trucking, they had another job lined up, so we just called it. And it actually came in under budget from what we had put in. We had budgeted for 15,000 for that, or 12,000, I think. It ended up costing about $10,000 for the trucking on that one. So that was a nice solution to a problem we've had for a long time here. That pile's getting really big, so kind of starting to get in the way. So that was nice. As I mentioned with the mattresses, we talked last year about maybe doing like a surcharge for the mattresses because that program was so expensive with the CCAN. It was keeping the mattresses out of the landfill, which was good, aerospace wise, and risk to the heavy equipment running over those mattresses and stuff was a good thing. But we weren't getting enough mattresses in the CCAN to, in my opinion, justify the cost. So it was, wasn't going as well as I had hoped it would, that program. So we looked into some different options, came up with this option, a mobile company that comes out and shreds the mattresses. And it'll be about a third the cost of the CCAN system. The only difference is the mattresses don't actually get recycled. We just get the benefit of the size reduction through the shredding so that they're not taking up the airspace and damaging the equipment in the landfill. Honestly, there isn't a lot that comes out of those mattresses anyways that's getting recycled. So, the small little pieces of wood in the mattress and some of the foam can be recycled, but a lot of it is not really good. It's just fabric and stuff that's getting thrown out anyway. So, so we're going to try this approach. Hopefully that'll cut our costs as well as save the airspace from those. Nice thing with this one is the same company that can crush concrete for us, which we have budgeted this year as well. So we'll only have to pay the mobilization the one time when they come out to crush the concrete to also shred the mattresses. So that'll save us some money there as well. So that's kind of what I held off on doing the surcharge because this option was going to be so much less expensive anyways, and I kind of wanted to see how this one goes. And then we can reassess and see if we need to implement a surcharge for the mattresses. We didn't do that with the CCAS system, so I didn't feel like, given this is going to be a less expensive solution, I didn't feel like we needed to do that. But yeah, so we are still diverting all those mattresses, setting them aside, and they will be shredded eventually. So we're kind of building up a little mountain of mattresses in the landfill, and then a couple times a year we'll have that company come in and shred them all, and then bury the shredded material at that time. So that's going to be the approach this year to mattresses, and I'll follow up with the board as to how that goes. But I've talked to a number of other sites that say it works really well and is really nice for the operators to keep those out of the landfill. Any further questions on that, Councillor Martin? No? Okay.
I have a question.
Oh, okay.
You mentioned the drywall was being shredded up and a feedlot was using it for bedding. Do we know, or was there any looking into to making sure that they had all the environmental requirements to be able to use that for bedding?
No, I did not ask that question. I could look into that though, if that's a concern.
Well, I'm just wondering, I mean, my experience with drywall, when it gets wet, it gets very mucky and sticky. So I'm curious as to, you know, because then future it's going to be spread on a land somewhere. You know, so I think it would be, I guess my concern is do they have the proper environmental requirements and permits to be able to use it? And because as manures soaked up by it, it then, like I said, gets spread out onto land. And we don't know the after effects of where it's being placed or any of that sort of stuff. So it would be my concern in supplying them with that, what the repercussions might be for us, but also, yeah, as I stated, what the environmental effects of it would be.
Yeah, I do know it's a fairly common practice. I've heard of other feedlots doing that as well with gypsum. So I'd assume that it's a permitted thing for them to do, but I can look into that and give feedback. But yeah, it's a fairly common thing done across the province in my experience.
Yeah, for wood chips, but I'm talking about the actual drywall.
Oh no, I'm talking drywall too. Yeah, with the gypsum, it's also commonly done, but there's not a big demand for it. Not as many use it as the wood chip, but I have over the years I have heard of it as a option. We just really hadn't had an option in our region that was interested in the material for that use until these guys.
Okay.
But they also claim they've been doing this for a long time. So, and I've heard of it in other regions as well. So, but yeah, I can look into it and confirm that. And it's a good question. I haven't thought of that, but
okay.
Yeah, and from what I understand, they put it at the base under the wood chip, so the animals aren't walking in it as much. But again, it's something I can look into for more detail.
Thanks.
Okay. What else do we got here? Okay, the new shop building is progressing well. The exterior is basically done now, all the exterior paneling, and now they're working on the interior, starting to do all the insulation, those types of things. They've been doing running glycol through the ground to try and remove the frost, to start working on prepping for the concrete pour. They're going to have to wrap the building with tarps and stuff like that and heat the building to do the concrete. So that preparation work has been ongoing. But yeah, if you come by the site, it's starting to look like a pretty nice looking building. Yep. Things are still slow with these guys, way behind schedule again. They're supposed to be done the exterior of the building by Christmas, and they're basically done it now. So yeah, they seem to be 2 to 3 weeks late on every target they set up for this project, but it is plugging along. So we're making some progress. And yes, you'll notice the oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say I did drive by last weekend and it looked good.
Yeah, it's a good looking building. It's going up, so I think we'll be happy with it once it's done. It's just slow. You'll notice the amount we paid for this month was quite small. It was only $19,000. That's because most of, like 90% of the work that's been done is all by Integrity, and we paid that up front in this project. So we had a large invoice at the beginning of their work to cover all of Integrity's work. So that's why we didn't have much cost this month for that building. What else? Started, you'll notice some engineering costs in the invoices there. So we started doing some work on projects for future years, namely 2027, designing the new outbound scale. So we're going to be installing a second outbound scale that we can then fire up on Saturdays is the biggest thing. We have these huge lineups on Saturdays, and the residents get pretty mad about it. So we'll have the option to have 2 outbound lanes running. Our inbound lane is pretty easy to keep up with. It seems like it's the outbound because of payments and stuff like that it bogs down. So that's in the works, and we're just doing all the design work for those new scales. So that'll be a big thing for the site to help us keep traffic moving when it gets busy here. The other project that we started work on is the phyto remediation project, which was approved. So that's moving ahead, and I hopefully will have some final reports to the board in the next few months here for that project to move ahead as to the final approval to actually install that equipment. And we'll be working on grant options and all those types of things over the next few months here. So should have some updates for that as well. As well as we've been doing a lot of safety training for our staff, working on a business continuity plan for the site in case of a regional disaster, as well as a regional disaster debris management plan. So a bunch of more, this time of year, we do more of kind of the safety and office work stuff to try and catch up on projects like that when it's slow. And then when the site gets busy, we focus more on the day-to-day operations and just keeping the site moving and running. So that's it for my updates.
Councillor Martin.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you get it approved by everyone for that temporary staff person?
Yes, I believe that was next on the agenda was to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that.
All good. Yeah, that'll be our next discussion here.
Any more questions regarding 7A operations budget update? Sorry, operations update?
No.
No? Okay, I think we can go on to 7B, the 2026 budget amendment. And again, this is Manager Angevine.
Okay. Yeah, so basically I sent out the email there last week to go through and give you guys some time to review it before the meeting. But basically, roughly 17,700. So I'm not sure, Manager Hammond, if you have a specific number that you want to have them approve, if it's a more round number of 18,000, or if you want to go with that $17,700 for the shared cost position. But yeah.
Before you get into that, Mr. Hammond, I just have a question. Like, how come we got this in an email and it's not on our agenda? I just want to know the process on this. Like, we got this information, but we didn't get an attachment through our agenda. So I just want to understand why we do it this way.
I don't know if there's a real reason. It's just kind of, I just kind of.
Are we allowed to discuss the information in the email? I guess that's where I'm going with.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry, I just because we already had it through the email. I figured there's no need to print it off, I guess. But yeah, it's definitely open for discussion and on the numbers and all those types of things, and the reasoning behind it was kind of, yeah.
Okay, sounds good. I just don't know. Do people watch our meetings? Like, is it like live streamed to the public to watch this?
It is, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Not sure anyone actually does watch it, but the option's there.
Councillor Martin.
I can give you the motion.
No. I think I would like to have a little bit of discussion about it, though.
Okay.
Okay, and then we'll go to sorry, I almost made you a Councillor Hammond. Go ahead, Mr. Hammond. You were going to just fill in some information.
Yeah, if the board is okay, I would like the board to approve the whole number. So 18,000 will be number that will be approved for salaries towards this position.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes, Councillor Estes.
Further in that email, it was to add the cost of the minimum charge for leaf and yard waste loads. Is that a secondary motion?
Yes, that would be a secondary approval as well. So the first one is the shared position with the salvage center, which for some of the new board members, just to catch you up, we did this in the past. It was kind of a requested thing back in the day from the salvage center to have an extra person up on our site to help divert waste before it gets thrown in the bins. There's a lot of good stuff at those bins if they can catch it before it gets tossed. They have a trailer that they can haul it back down to the salvage center. And so they just, 2 or 3 loads a week, they'll just run down of stuff that They approach the customers, ask them if they have anything that's still in decent shape that they can salvage, and then load up in the trailer. So it worked pretty well. It really depended on who we had in the role. If we had the right person, it worked really well. And then a couple times, it's hard to keep a person in that role for very long. They usually will do it for a year or two, and then they want to run equipment, or they go find another job or whatever. But when we had the right person in the role, it worked really well. The problems we ran into with this position was we hired some people that weren't great fits. They kind of worked hard during their probation period, and as soon as probation period ended, all of a sudden they were just standing there doing nothing all day long. And so we kind of that was the approach this time. We kind of agreed with the salvage center to keep it a seasonal position, so there's a little more. They don't stay long anyway, so we have the flexibility that if it's not a good fit and it's not working out, we can move on from that person. But hopefully we'll be able to find someone that does it good for 4 to 6 months or something each year. And it definitely increased the diversion. It increased gave us a lot more flexibility in the site for operations. I just found this last couple of years without this position, we were always seemed like we were a shorter person operations when the site's busy. So it's kind of a win-win for both sides. And it's tough to get, a full-time position for $17,000 is a pretty good deal in my opinion. So or 18,000, sorry, per Reg's request there. That I think it'll be good to give us a shot again and go from there.
Perfect. Any more questions regarding either of these two things? I just have a question about the $12 minimum for leaf and yard waste. Has that never been thought of before? Like, how come it took this long to decide to do this?
Well, this has always kind of bugged me, to be honest. I've never heard of a landfill that does this. I think the idea back in the day, this was how it was when I first started here. The idea was to incentivize people to keep that waste out of the landfill, just take it for free. They were also starting up their compost pad when that was kind of done, so that they actually wanted to get material to work with. Now it's gotten to the point, it's like we're getting so much material, we're so busy, it's expensive, and we have landscaping companies that are bringing 20 loads a day out to the site, and I mean they're all getting it for free. It's kind of, I don't know, it's never really made a ton of sense to me why we do this. We kind of just subsidize this as kind of a community service thing. So, and then I think I would say 4 or 5 years back, we brought this up and the board kind of shut it down, which that's the board's prerogative. If you guys want to shut this down, that's fine too, and keep it subsidized. But I thought it was time to maybe float the idea again with a new board I think it's a little silly to take this for free personally. And, we've held our rates, I think 5 of the last 7 years, we've held our rates, landfill rates across the board. So this is a way that we can, in a reasonable way, I think, make some revenue for something we probably should have been making it from all along. Eventually, we also need to get people used to paying for leaf and yard waste, because eventually we're going to run out of space to have our compost pad. I would say 10 to 15 years from now, we're going to have to actually remove our compost pad to make space for future cells, because it's right in the middle of our site, and that's the highest point of the landfill, is above where that compost pad is currently. So eventually we have to divert people elsewhere. We didn't have that option in the past. Now we do with Catapult. Catapult is up and running and can take commercial leaf and yard waste loads. So given that there are those options now, this might be the time to start getting people used to, you got to kind of budget for this and actually pay to get rid of this waste. And eventually they're going to have to go over to Catapult and pay for it anyway. So that's kind of the thought behind it and the history behind it. But I don't think it's a huge deal. But when Reg and I were talking through the budget of trying to whether we hold the rates, this was an option to kind of offset that, where we make the commercial haulers happy because we hold the rates again, the big commercial haulers for garbage, but we also could generate some extra revenue on something that we probably should have been all along, was kind of the thought.
Cool. Sounds good. I'll go to CAO Cameron, and then we'll go to Councillor Martin just after that.
So I'm wondering, Manager Angevine, how this would impact with the yard waste that comes out of Diamond Valley. So They bring their trees and stuff to our transfer station, and then it's hauled. So yeah, I'm not sure how we would be able to charge for that. That'd be kind of difficult.
Well, that's again, the idea behind the minimum charge was that the towns would still be getting a really good deal on this. You know, they're bulking these loads, they're large loads, and they're still just getting charged like $12 $12 for the load, right? So we're still effectively heavily subsidizing the towns on their hauling of the leaf and yard waste. It's it'd be affecting more the small commercial haulers, the landscaping companies and stuff like that. And then of course we get a lot of farms and those types of things that haul in leaf and yard waste as well. So it'd be impacting them more directly than the towns. But yeah, we would have to obviously give the towns some time to budget for this, but the branches we're currently charging for anyways. It's just the leaf and yard waste that we take for free. So it wouldn't be all the loads that come out of that transfer station, but just the leaf and yard waste ones would have some small charges.
I have a question.
Oh, sorry.
Sure.
We'll go to Councillor Martin first because she had her hand up, right?
Yeah.
Is there anybody else other than Catapult that could take this waste? Like I guess what I'm thinking of is any resident. Could they take it to commercial to one of, like Catapult is the commercial waste business?
As far as I know, they're not taking like small loads at this time. They would just be dealing with the larger commercial loads. We would still be cheaper than them anyways at this rate of the $12. It would still be cheaper for a resident to take it to us. Catapult will be much more expensive than we would be.
Okay.
Which also just puts into perspective that we're not charging enough, because we'll still be much cheaper, but
okay,
the private option. But
nope,
yeah, we would still be the best place for them to go.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you so much.
Okay, Councillor Estes, now your turn.
Thanks. Yeah, my question is from the transfer stations. I'm hoping I'm assuming correctly that the leaf waste is separated out from the branches when it's brought in.
Yes, that's correct. So we have two bins at that transfer station. One is a branch bin and one is a leaf and yard waste bin. So the leaf and yard waste bin that goes to the compost pad would be the only one that would see these charges. The branch bin is currently already being charged at $74 per metric ton, I believe.
Okay, and does High River, their recycling center, they have a small yard waste bin. Does that come up there as well?
Yep. So those are the ones that we would still just be charging $12 a load. So it's not much because those are big loads when they come, but yes.
Yeah.
So the residents still have the option, if they want to go to Okotoks and High River and drop off small loads there, then they're not paying for those loads at those sites. But yeah, this would mostly, what we're trying to mostly do here is also discourage some of these commercial small haul guys that are bringing in 20 loads a day. And the problem with them too is every load that comes in, we have to go up and check them because some of these guys have garbage mixed in through the load and stuff. And so we're up, we're not even getting paid for these loads, and yet we're up haggling with these guys and fighting with them to keep the loads clean. It's just, they're kind of a headache.
Yeah.
Excellent. Any more discussion? Councillor Mitchell, do you have anything to ask or add? No? Okay, perfect. So we're looking for two motions coming out of 7B. Would somebody like to make one or both, or?
I would make the motion for the approval of the $12 fee for the compost yard waste.
Administration, could you craft something out of that?
Yeah, so the approval would be to charge the minimum charge of $12 per load on all leaf and yard waste loads coming to the site.
Does that sound like that captures your motion, Councillor Estes?
I guess it's just further to that. I wonder if we should do it for a trial period, because $12 per load doesn't even seem like it would be much of a deterrent if someone's coming in with 20 loads a day. I mean, they have to take it somewhere. So did you want to possibly look at a trial period and then, I mean, I'm thinking, you know, a charge by the ton if they're bringing in load after load after load. Those are my thoughts. But I'm good with that motion if for now, but I'm thinking a trial period.
Would you be interested in like like just say with your motion being like, and then have it reviewed next year during budget?
Sure.
Maybe that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we do it.
Yeah, and that was the plan. My plan anyways was to kind of, as the year goes along, track this and give some updates. The reason I didn't want to go with a per ton rate for this is that the town loads would get hit pretty hard. Like the towns are currently paying $0 for these loads, and they would be like, if we put in a 50 or 60 bucks, you know, that's what Catapult's going to be charging, I think, in the 50 to 60 range for loads like this. You know, the town's loads would be hundreds of dollars at that point every load, right? So that's where I didn't want to go that route of, you know, big charges for the towns that are self-hauling, but yeah, we could look at that option as well. Oh, question of when does it start? So we have to advertise this because it's a change to our rates. So I believe we have to advertise it for like 2 months or something like that. We have to put it in the paper rate with our rate bylaw. So this wouldn't be able to take effect until the spring anyway. So when the loads start to roll in, so yeah, it wouldn't be immediate. We would have to advertise and notify the small haulers.
Okay.
Perfect. Can somebody read back that motion? Like now that we've kind of wordsmithed it a bit, did somebody write it down somewhere?
Oh, do you want me to reword it? Try?
Did somebody? Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. I would like to make the motion to approve the $12 charge per load for yard waste and compost.
Sounds good to me. That captures it to my understanding. With the I don't think we have to put in there, but we're going to discuss this again, like revisit it at budget time, though. Is that
Done every year.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Excellent. Okay.
Okay.
Would you like to speak to your motion, Councillor Estes?
Good.
No? Okay. Anybody, any other discussion? Anybody for or against want to speak? I see none. Okay, let's call the question. Anybody opposed? And that carries. And then we're looking for one more motion coming out of this. Maybe could I just suggest that we look for the motion that that their budget be amended as discussed? Would that be a good enough? Would that cover that for everybody here, seeing the meeting is recorded? No? Okay. I'm looking for a second motion then. Go. Anybody?
I'll give you the motion
Okay, Councillor Martin.
that we spend the $18,000 for a shared position with the salvage center for 4 to 6 months. It's a 4 to 6 months position.
Sounds good. Oh,
Yeah,
manager.
what I had in mind was roughly 30 weeks. So yeah, about that 4 to 6 month range. But that budget number uses 30 weeks.
So would you like that included in there?
We could.
Okay, so that motion that we spend $18,000 for a shared temporary position for a 30-week, up to a 30-week period.
Okay, perfect. Sounds like that's a good motion. Would you like to speak to your motion, Councillor Martin?
No, I think this is a great idea. Any way that we can continue to get waste out of the landfill, I think that's a win-win for all of us. $18,000 is not a whole bunch of money, and if we can get a good worker, that's even better.
Sounds good. Anybody else would like to speak in favor or against this motion? I see none. I will obviously be supporting this motion, but I love in the email where it said if we end up with a bad hire, let's try I would really encourage administration to not end up with a bad hire is what I would like to
Yeah,
let's not
that's like
plan
throwing the dice there.
Yes.
Counselor Hallmark.
So if I was to add anything, I would just say
Yes.
that. But I do support this motion. Councillor Martin to close? Nothing? I'll call the question. Oh, I'll call the question. Anybody opposed? I see none. And that's carried. Perfect. And then I see no other business except for 7E, which is roundtable discussion. Do we have any roundtable discussion? Okay, I will go. And I was just wondering, I signed up because I'm just new to this whole world. I never imagined when I ran for council that I would be on the landfill commission. But I signed up for the 15th annual Alberta Care Spring Seminar in Brooks, Alberta. I was just wondering, is anybody else from here going?
Nope.
No? Do you normally? Oh.
I was actually
Rick
looking
isn't-
into care this year. I've gone to care in the past couple times. I usually go to different ones, but the one I've been going to lately, I haven't been that happy with. So I've been looking at care as well as potentially this year an option. It's usually a pretty decent conference. It's more smaller municipalities. Yeah, the Recycling Council of Alberta and stuff like that is typically more focused on the big cities. So I find care is a little more practical for kind of smaller communities and stuff like that.
Is this for counties as well, or is it just municipality? Oh,
Yeah,
It's did your administration send you the information on this, Councillor Estes?
I don't recall, no.
Oh, I can pass it on. It's not,
Okay.
it doesn't seem to be that expensive, and I'm hoping to learn a little bit more about, and I might even screw up the acronym because I'm so ill-informed about EPR. Am I getting? Yeah. So there's going to be like half a day on EPR at this conference, I think, this time. So that's what I'm hoping to get out of it. But I just wanted to see if anybody else is going. I will be going March 18th to 20th. So.
Oh, I have a feeling we're at the RMA. Okay. Yeah, just if you send me that would be great, and I'll have a look at it. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Any other roundtable discussion? Oh, Councillor Martin.
When you just mentioned EPR, maybe for a future meeting, will there be any updates coming on that of how that is now working at the landfill?
I mean, I don't talk about a lot here with our board because it doesn't really affect us too much. EPR for us really only affects us with the household hazardous waste, or what they call HSP. It's like hazardous and special products or something like that. Yeah, so the bigger part of EPR is focused on the recyclable materials, the paper, plastics, those types of things. That's more at the town levels and the city levels. Like the county doesn't have blue cart pickups and stuff like that are affected by EPR. So yeah, it really hasn't impacted us. The only change to us for EPR, we're doing the exact same processes. We just have to fill out some paperwork, and then we get like 20 to 30% reimbursement on our costs when we process the household hazardous waste. So it's kind of actually all positive on our end. A lot of the other side of EPR is causing a lot of headaches for communities, I hear, but on the HSP side for us, it really hasn't changed anything. We just get some money back. So it's all a positive for the landfill.
Are you getting much funding back?
20 to 30%. So an average load that gets picked up here is about $2,000 of cost. And we get about 20, depending on the load, the mix of materials that's in that load, we get about 20 to 30% of that back.
Oh, wow. Okay. So at least it's covering your costs.
Yeah, some of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is a good.
They overpromised and underdelivered. They were telling us it'd be like 50 to 60% when it was first coming out, and then it's ended up being about half that. So
Anything is better than nothing, right?
that was my take too. Was well, it's not what we were promised, but it's better than what we had.
Yep. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Okay, any more discussion on the roundtable? I see none. Okay, so we will move on to, oh, we don't have to make a motion to,
Adjourn,
oh, sorry.
adjourn the meeting.
I can't,
Approve the next meeting, right?
oh, yeah, but we don't need another motion about the receiving the update as information or 7A? No, okay, that's good. Okay, so we'll move on to number 8, next meeting, next scheduled regular meeting to be held on February 23rd at 9:30 a.m. Via Zoom virtual meeting. And so I'll look for the motion for adjournment. Anybody want to move on? Oh, I see Councillor Mitchell. Any discussion? I see none. Anybody opposed? And that carries. Thank you, Councillor Mitchell, for that wonderful motion. See you, Councillor Martin.
Have a great day, folks.
You too.
And now we just stay on for the next meeting, right? The people that are part of this. Okay.
Yep.
Excellent.
So I believe, let's see, Councillor Estes is the chair of this meeting.
Oh, right.
Because
All right. So are we still live?
yes.
Okay. All right. So I would like to call to order the Foothills Regional Services Commission wastewater operations meeting for Monday, January 26, 2026 at 10:12 a.m. Are there any additions to the agenda? Okay, I see none. Can I have a motion to adopt the agenda? Councillor Hallmark, thank you for that. Did everybody get a chance to go over the minutes from the previous meeting? And was there any corrections needed to be made, omissions, anything like that? No?
Not for me, no.
Okay, can I have a motion to accept the minutes? Councillor Hallmark, thank you. Okay, moving on to accounts payable. Did everybody get to review that? Was there any questions, comments arising from? No. Can I have a motion to accept the accounts payable? Councillor Hallmark, thank you. Oh, sorry, I should be doing all those in favor, right? I'm missing that. Sorry. Harry, you didn't jump in and correct me.
I know.
I'm sorry.
And someone can make
Oh.
a motion and then vote against it, but
Right.
I wasn't expecting that would happen.
Okay, so all of those in favor of adopting the agenda? I have one in favor. Or
You're
sorry.
the other one. There's only 3 of us on this board. It's you,
Oh,
me, and Michael.
Okay, so we have
He's not here.
quorum,
He's
though.
not here.
Right.
We've only got 2
Okay.
out of 3 of us here that are voting members.
Okay, and acceptance of the minutes. Okay, and accounts payable. All right, business. Yes, okay, so we'll go to Mr. Reva Cameron for an update on the Frank Lake lift station pipeline.
Yeah, so the only update I have is, of course, one of the pumps is causing us heartburn, and that was on January 6th. I haven't seen an update on Perhaps Courtney's heard, but I haven't seen anything on that where it had pump number 1 had to be shut down because it was vibrating too much. We're just waiting for a report, and yeah, the bane of our existence, pumps.
Mm.
So we'll see where it goes. Of course, we have standby pumps, so it's everything's operating just fine. That's really the only update.
Okay. And then moving on to the wastewater flow table.
Yeah, wastewater flow table. So it has the year end, and you know, we can see that there was less water. Went to Frank Lake this year than, or I should say in 25 than in 24. So, but it's all pretty fairly consistent. Um, the water from Cargill is just slightly more than the water from the town of High River. So really nothing's changed there from a volume perspective. And
Okay. Is there any questions? No. I don't need to make a motion to accept the business. Is there any more comments? Anybody have any comments or anything they want to bring up for roundtable discussion? No?
Oh, I can quickly. Oh,
Sorry.
sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Uh, because I asked last time I was in this meeting because I didn't really understand Okotoks' role, and I guess Councillor Swenseed had the same question. Is that right, CAO Cameron? Because what I got was we had a legal opinion that they found for me that Okotoks has to stay in this in this is this commission in this
in the commission.
yeah.
So the only way out for Okotoks, your council would have to indicate a desire to leave, and the county and High River would have to agree. So it would go to their both councils, and then the request would be made to change the ministerial order that creates the commission. So it's not impossible to get out, but it requires unanimous consent of the members.
Okay, and then from what I understand, even if we were to do all that, we wouldn't be a voting member at the board, but we would still be liable in if there was like issues in the future, even if we left because of is that what I'm understanding from the legal opinion I got?
Well, I believe that you know, one of the considerations of the other two members would be whether they would be prepared to allow you out of that liability. You know, so what is the extent of your liability with respect to Frank Lake Pipeline and its operation? And so in the end, again, the two councils would have to, they'd probably want an opinion as to what was the extent of your liability, if any. I'm not sure that overall for the three members there's much liability at this point in time. It's considering this has been operating, you know, for, well, let's say 30, almost 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just thank you for entertaining that discussion.
Yeah, but the only way that this could move forward would be an official request from Town of Okotoks Council.
Okay, thank you. That's all for me, Counselor Estes.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? No,
No,
sorry.
I don't have
Okay.
any updates on the pigging of the line. So
yes,
yeah,
good.
that was from last meeting, but we haven't, waiting more for the town of High River and who run the operation. So there, and also on the wastewater treatment plant, there's been no further information from the consultant. So
Okay.
I don't have any updates on either of those items.
Okay, all right, thank you for that. So I guess I'll move on. Our next scheduled meeting will be January 23rd, 2026, immediately following the landfill operations meeting via Zoom virtual meeting. Everybody's okay with that? Okay, so I need an emotion for adjournment.
I'll give you that emotion.
Emotion. Thank you, Councillor Hallmark. And so I call the meeting to, or is there anybody opposed? No, okay. I call the a meeting adjourned at 10:21 a.m. Monday, January 26, 2026. All
And
right.
just for the
Sorry.
future, if we find ourselves in this position again of only two people, the chair can make motions. So
Oh, okay.
it is possible if
Okay.
you wish. If you wish, you
Okay.
don't have to, but
All right. Thank you for that. Okay, everybody have a good day, and
Yeah.
we'll see
Thank
you again
you.
soon. Okay, bye
thank
now.
you. Bye.